Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum brothers and sisters. Welcome back to my channel Aspiring Muslim. In this video, inshallah, I'll be going to narrate a story about Musa alayhi salam and Khidr, and this story is mentioned in our holy Qur'an in Surah Al Kahf. So let's begin. So Prophet Musa alayhi salam, as we have seen him, he was a human, and like anyone else, he could make a mistake. Once, after the leaders of Bani Israel had given him a particularly tough time, he stood up among them and said, "Who is the wisest among the people? I am the wisest." Musa alayhi salam forgot to say that Allah was the wisest of all. So Allah sent him on a quest to learn wisdom. Allah told him to go to the coast of Red Sea, where it meets the Gulf of Aqaba at the Gulf of Suez, to look for a person there who was more learned than himself. So Prophet Musa alayhi salam asked Allah, "How can I find him?" Allah instructed, "Take a fish in a basket and you will find him wherever you lose that fish." So Musa alayhi salam set out with his servant boy Yusha on the mysterious journey to find the wisest man in the world. He said to his servant, "I will not give up on my search for the wise man until I reach the meeting of the two seas, or until I have traveled for years." But when they reached the place where the two seas met, the servant forgot about the fish. It miraculously actually shot straight into the water and got away. After they travelled on further, Musa alayhi salam said to his servant, "Bring us our meal, for we have been travelling hard." But the servant answered, "Did you see what happened when we rested on the rocks by the sea? I forgot to tell you about the fish. Shaitan made me forget to mention to you. The fish jumped into the sea in a miraculous way." So Musa alayhi salam cried, "That was the sign we were seeking." Then they retraced their path back to where they had been. So there they found one of Allah's servants who had been given knowledge by him. So Musa alayhi salam begged him, "Let me follow you so that you can teach me something of your knowledge." The man, whose name was Khidr, replied, "You will certainly not be able to have patience for that, and how can you have patience with things you don't fully understand?" To this, Musa alayhi salam said, "You will see. If Allah wills that I'll be patient, I will not disobey you." So Khidr replied, "If you want to follow me and then ask me no questions about anything until I tell you about it." So now they set out walking along the sea. They came to a ship and asked to be taken abroad. The crew recognized Khidr and took them on board with no fear. While they were aboard the ship, Khidr took an axe and tore out a plank of the ship. Musa said to him, "Did you make a hole in it so as to drown those in it? You have indeed done a grievous thing." He replied, "Did I not tell you that you would not be able to bear with me patiently?" Musa alayhi salam replied to this, "Please excuse me for what I forgot, and do not make it difficult for me." And then they traveled on land until they met a boy. Immediately, as soon as they met him, Khidr killed him. Musa alayhi salam cried, "Have you killed an innocent soul who has killed no one? What a horrible thing!" Khidr answered, "Did I not tell you that you would not have patience with me?" So to this again Musa alayhi salam replied, "If I ever ask you about anything again, do not allow me to follow you anymore, and you will have the right to leave me." So now they traveled until they came to a small town. When they asked the townspeople for food, they refused to give them any. Then they saw an old wall that was crumbling and it was about to fall. So Khidr went and fixed it. So Musa alayhi salam commented, "If you wanted, you could have asked the people for payment." To this, Khidr answered, "This is where we separate. Now I'll tell you the meaning of the things which about which you could not be patient. As for the ship, it belonged to some poor men who made their living on the sea. I wanted to make a defect in it because there was a king who seized or stopped every good ship by force. And as for the young man, his parents were believers in Allah, and we feared that he would sadden them with his rebellious and bad behavior. So we wanted their Lord to give them a better child who was more pure and loving. And as for the wall, it belonged to two orphans in the town until under it was a buried treasure which was meant for them. Their father was a good man, so your Lord wanted them to grow up and extract their treasure as a mercy from your Lord. I did not do these things of my own accord. That is the meaning of that for which you had no patience. This complete story, brothers and sisters, is mentioned in Surah Al Kahf, and Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said after he had narrated this story, we wish Musa ﷺ could have remained patient so that Allah would have told us more of their story. And brothers and sisters, many people claim that Khidr is still alive, which is a baseless claim. Had he been alive, it would have been incumbent upon him to believe in Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and to meet him. It is not mentioned in any authentic or even weak hadith that Khidr came to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and met him. So brothers and sisters, I hope you found this video informative, and if you did, then do like, share and subscribe. Till the next video, Allah Hafiz and Assalamu Alaikum.